Welcome back to this live session for another trading days, Wednesday, 5th of November 2025, first session of the day. And this week, as you know, that the most important week of the month, as of the first week of this month, we are on this one here at coming up later today, ADP non-farm employment change, and that will change many things that we can see in the market. And before I progress with any analysis, any trade setup, traders, get ready with the full risk managed setup, get ready with the risk managed strategy and tools that you need to open any position. And also, if you new to the channel or if you are trading with us for a long time, make sure you like this stream before we progress further so that it shows to more people, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done yet. And let's begin that today's analysis, starting with gold as usual, and also we'll be looking at dollar yen as well. Dollar yen, that also the market might show some entry on dollar yen, euro dollar, British pound, US dollar, that we will be looking at throughout the session, beginning with first of all gold and keeping on watch list also some of the pairs currently trending, such as dollar yen, and also with the gold here. Alright, so let's begin with first of all gold. And gold currently had a breakup structure on the lower time frame. We'll go to that. Right, we'll go to that. Good morning, good day, welcome. And right, yes, in the live chat if you are ready with the session. Thank you. Welcome. Waiting for all the members to show up before we look at the full analysis. Welcome back to this live analysis here. Okay, so let's begin with this today's analysis here on gold, and we are looking for entry opportunity. Welcome. Yes, really ready. Very good to hear that. Welcome back to this live session here from the academy. We are looking at the best trading setup possible in the market, as with the progression of this session here, looking at the best trade setup. As if you look at the overall the market trend, we'll be doing the full multiple time frame analysis before we look at any entry in this market. Ready for an entry? Let's begin with, first of all, starting with bigger picture, looking at first of all daily. Now daily market that we discussed yesterday, daily price action has in our previous daily move that we can see on gold from this high, there was a significant break below, if you guys looked at, and with that breakdown on the daily time frame, this is where an important resistance line on the daily time frame that you can see in that market here. And with this important resistance line formation on the daily, this is gold chart as well, and as the market back to back 3 days drop back to that daily support level here, what we are looking at this market now, with earlier opening of this daily price action, the market has straight bounced off that level that you can see in this market, and that bounce that you can see on gold has given a significant opportunity here in that market. So where we are looking at this market at the moment is based on the multiple time frame analysis. Currently from the daily open, we see there is a rejection back to the upside. Looking at, first of all, identifying the direction of the trend. That's where the key here to look at. And once we can identify the direction of the trend, it becomes easier for us to trade based on the market structure and the liquidity and the price action. All right. Looking at the best setup, first of all, we see that most the beginning members already here. If you can hear me, can you say yes? I'm sure that the stream is on. Just making sure that everything is on and I'm in the right place to look at. Ready? Okay, so first of all, as usual, we will be looking at the multiple time frame analysis. Our previous trade that you guys have seen was absolutely a great one, and that has given us significant profit in our previous trade. And looking at this today in the same way. First of all, if you look at the gold market here, that you can see from the bigger picture perspective, looking at monthly chart, and the reason I'm looking at, guys, such a higher time frame, we are not trading on monthly, right? You don't have to trade on the monthly chart, but when we are looking at the bigger picture, okay, so when we are looking at the monthly chart, we have better understanding of the overall trend in the market, removing most of the noises that you can see on the lower time frame. So it's easy for us to follow the market structure. It's easy for us to follow the trend. So if you look at the monthly price action here, that you can see, this is the monthly impulse that you can see, a big monthly bullish candlestick pattern formation with a long wick at the top. And if we look at the weekly chart that you can see in this market, from the weekly, where there is a weekly impulse so far from here, and the overall trend that we can see in this market from the weekly perspective here, that it is overall bullish market structure. Starting from here, you can see this is the move that you can see on here on gold, and from the weekly we see that it is in fact a bullish market structure. Starting from here, a big move that you can see here, and with that movement on the weekly chart here, that you can see the market has reached that level, and back to back 3 weeks we saw there was a pullback in this market. Now this current week, from this high, there was a new lower low, but it's still, we see that it is still in a bullish trend from the weekly. All right, good morning everyone. This is a bullish trend, right, from the weekly. And therefore, if we look at the daily chart here, the previous daily candle close was full body candle close with a big red candle. Now today market open, look at the low of this candle where there is no effort from the seller. As soon as the market open, there is a rejection back to the upside. Therefore, here the market trend is, can you tell me what's your bias? Before I tell, I would like to see that what community is thinking. What is your bias on gold today? So from the daily perspective, I'm posting a poll here. What's your thought on that? Can you share your cast a vote here to see that what's your bias on gold today? Bearish on 4-hour candle. So gold says that bearish on 4-hour candle. Anyone has any different opinion on that? And also, can you tell me the reason? Reason is very important when, especially if you are looking at entry on the in the direction of the trend. Okay, so you see that there was a big drop that you can see on the 4-hour, followed by rejection back to the upside here in that market. So is this now, looking at this market, if you look at here, you can see this is a lower time frame price action for our bullish candle, followed by another bull candle that you can see in this market. And as the market on this support level here that you can see on gold, so for 2 sessions, so you can see the previous session was a narrower green candle, and this session has closed like closing in 27 minutes. Is this a bull candle or bear candle? That's a very important point. First of all, need to look at when we are trading on gold here, right? Is this a bull candle or it's a bear candle, right? Is this a bull candle or bear candle on the 4 hour? Once you understand the directional bias, you are halfway up. Now, previous trade that you guys have seen, straight away when you open, boom, the market has moved back to the upside here. Now, this is not a very typical downtrending market structure. You need to understand that fact. And because this is not a typical downtrending market structure, welcome from Canada. Yeah, this is potentially, at least for short term, a bull candle, right? Because the possibility here, because there is a rejection from this price here, and we know that if you look at this kind of market where there is a stronger drop in a downtrend, that's a bearish market. Here, look at the previous session's candle close. How the candle closed in the previous session here. You see the previous session's 4 hour candle close here, which is absolutely important candlestick pattern formation here on gold on the 4 hour. Now this session, what you can see in this session here, that a bullish candlestick pattern again formation here in that market. And that is where the possibility here now, the price moves from liquidity to liquidity. Therefore, the possibility here for this market to bounce off the level, crossing 399999 dot, right? That means 4,000 level is higher. And therefore, expecting, it's just an expectation, but we haven't still identified the entry. Don't press the buy button yet, because we need 3 important aspects to be aligned to find the directional bias here. And that is where we have to look at for the breakout structure. From the 1 hour, you can see there was an inverted head and shoulder here. Breakout. Market is maintaining this series of higher high and higher low, which is in an uptrending market structure here. And that being said, I'm going back to very lower time frame here for an entry opportunity in this market here. And that is where I'm looking at potential trading opportunity in this market. If you look at here, you can see this is a breakout structure here on the 1 minute. Now we are looking at the 1 minute chart. We are looking at now entry time frame. We need 2 time frames to be aligning. Bullish specifically, if it breaks through the 4024 to 4025 resistance, I think it's way farther to look at, but it's still, we can see that the potentially it is going back to the upside here. And looking at the current, some of the levels that we are looking at the market to retest and potentially to reject. Now you can look this level that you can see from 3972 to 4,000 level. It's a pure bearish fair value gap. It's a pure bearish fair value gap. And how do you trade, in fact, fair value gap? If you guys looked at the 2 trades that opened here in that area, right? 5 times profit target that we achieved on both of the trades. I have already shared the profit with many members running with me. Now we have system and strategy. If you guys look at this trade, back to back 2 big wins, right? Entry at 3964.26. Understanding bearish fair value gap will give you a huge advantage on your trading. and profit taken at 3050.84. So the one here 3992.53, and the stop loss level that we used here is at this level, above this high, and TP target set at 5 times. That means at 3969.35. Now exactly the printed trade that you can see here, right? Everything is very clear, guys. Do you see how the fair value gap works in trading, especially when you are trading based on smart money system, based on strategies? As I mentioned many times in our premium group, every analysis that we make, every trade we trade, this is a live trade. This is a trade that opened as per our strategy. I have now many members trading with me with this system, with this strategy, and this trade exclusively sent out to those who are with me in the premium group. Now look at the entry and stop loss here. You see that entry at 3992.53. Stop loss at only 45 pip, 3997.05. With this trade, straight drop back to 240 pip on one single move, and it's on the lower time frame that you can see. If you look at the 1 minute chart, okay, let's plot it on 1 minute chart. You see that how the trade has been executed. This is 1 minute chart, and the trade was executed, both of this trade based on 1 minute and 50 minutes. Every single detail of the trade is there, guys. Every single detail. You see, this is a live trade, and that trade has opened with such a... This is what I always encourage you to take, such a bigger profit target that is impossible for you to lose in trading. Say impossible to lose in trading. When you say, you basically create that block for you, okay? And I need one member here from the premium to confirm that this is the trade that you opened in our strategy, and you also copied the same trade from me. Okay, so we have members confirmed in the group. Thank you very much. Awesome. Now, how can you learn that strategy? This is the next question come in play, right? How can you learn that strategy where impossible to lose? This is the philosophy. This is how you need to trade. Look at those trading pattern that I have here, right? I didn't win all the trade. It's impossible for you to win all the trade. But when you have this kind of strategy where you keep the losing very small and winner is so big that it is impossible for you to lose. The only thing that you need to have is a system, a strategy. And that is our job here, to help the traders all around the world to build a system, to develop the strategy that can change your trading and also change the people around you who are trading with you. Ready? Ready for taking your trading to the next level. Because it's not difficult in trading. The only thing difficult here is to have a mindset, developing a trading psychology that will change the way you look at the market. All right, now ready, right? Let's understand now in the market how we can, at this market structure, again find similar kind of trades. We don't want to end up taking only one trade per day or per session. We want to take trades in every single day. Now, here is the key level that you can see in this market. This is the 1 minute price action here. This is 1 minute chart. And that's a support here. That's a support here. That's a support here, right? And with that support that you can see from here, there is a break of structure, a break to the upside here. And this is now an uptrend, as you can see from the daily and from the 1 minute chart. If we look at all those time frame here, going back to the lower time frame, the current level that we are looking at this market to break this trend line. The trend line break is very important. If you look at now, once you see the market has broken out of the trend line, you are at an important level where you can look for entry on a trend line break. And having a simple strategy is the best way, because when you have the simple strategy, you are well executed. You can execute the trade in a simplest way possible. So that being said, we are looking at this market here. We are looking at gold from this level where there is a trend line, and expecting this market to break from the trend line and then to revert back again to this level. Breaking from this trend line, especially the previous support 3965 level, is where I'm looking at the market to break aggressively below the trend line for an entry opportunity. And if we can enter along this area from this breakup trend line, we can look for around 130 pips profit target nearly to there for market to break that high here. with this narrower, smaller structure formation here on gold, that you can see the market potentially to bounce off that level. And as we see, there is a breakup structure. I'm still not entering into this one here yet, because expecting to create a new higher high here in that market to see that where the price is potentially be heading. Now, breaking below from this trend line can give us a very important price action pattern here that you can see. And there is a head and shoulder that has built in that area. Now, with that head and shoulder, we might see that break from this head and shoulder. And breaking from that head and shoulder is where the next potential entry opportunity coming here in that market. All right, here is what you can see the market to break that low here, potentially cross that low, and to take that to this level here, to this support, and then to create a new lower low. Welcome back to this live session. The market is now just approaching the lower time frame trend line, and as soon as it's gonna manage to break to the trend line, we are looking at entry for and potentially upside here in that market. Now, with this movement that you can see, there is a breakout trend line as we discussed. The current support level that we are looking at here at this level at 3965 level. Dropping back at this level or below this level is where we can look for possible entry for this session, as the market has just broken out of the trend. This is what we are looking at this market. We can wait for confirmation and we can use the pending order for this move back to the upside here in that market to move up to create a new higher high, and then potentially to continue to trend back here to this resistance line in this market. Now with this break below here, as the market approaching this support level from this high here, we are looking at this market to retest that key support level and then to give us potentially another entry. There is a head and shoulder here that you can see, and that is bringing this market back below to this long-term support level here on gold, and it's approaching this key level. 15 minutes candle closing with a big long bearish candlestick pattern here. And what now we are looking at this market for a possible entry on pullback here. So we will be using again pending order for this bounce back to the upside if the market reach that level here in that area. We'll be using buy stop order like the one we did in our previous session, and leaving the stop loss below the swing low, keeping the TP target to the high. Depending on how the market react, we can adjust our trades accordingly. Here we will have only 41 to 42 pips stop loss, which is a very tight stop loss that I always use, the tight stop loss for the best results. Because if the market not going in my favor, I'm not gonna run a trade for very long. Ready? The risk management is key here. So it's a buy stop order at 3968.93. Stop loss very tight at 3964.78 and TP above at 3977.97. Now you can see there is still some downside price action being formed in that area. So buy stop placed on at 3968.93, stop loss at 3964.78, TP target 3977.97. And if the market breaks above, that's why we were looking at entry. It still can come back down well below here for another liquidity grab. Okay, so you can see there is a rejection from this level, and we place the pending order above this high, and that is the reason for if the market breaking out from this key support level here, we are looking at potentially upside bias here in that market, and that's what we are looking at in this price action, to go up and then to create a new higher high here in that market. And that's what we are looking to see, the market to go up and to remain upside. Now it is still can come back well below here, then we are not on the trade. We are looking to trade that imbalance. You can, this is a 1 minute bearish fair value gap that you can see. If the market cross that high here, that's where we want to enter into the trade with this bearish fair value gap, then to bounce back up. If once the market triggers the trade, just a management plan is that after crossing nearly to 40 pip, going above this high, once the market managed to do that, we will be taking partial profit and moving the stop loss at entry to make the trade risk free. It's the simplest way to manage the trade. And it's in a consolidation here, so which could bring that market, in fact, still running here. And by the way guys, if you are new to the channel, make sure you like this stream. Did you like? And also subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done yet, press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I'm posting every day. Hello, great to hear again. Thank you very much. Sorry for asking, but please can you explain your trade ideas again? Just join live stream. Thank you very much. First of all, that's okay guys, ask over and over again. The more you will ask, the more you learn. Asking question is important, answer is not important. So you know, it's okay to ask question, right, at any point. So first of all, the trade ideas, that the trade, that setup that we have done, we considered here the major direction of the trend, right? The major direction of the trend. So the major trend here, if we look at the daily open, what kind of market structure we can see on the daily, that you can see the market open with this big bull candle, right? And with the daily open 4-hour price action that you can see here as well, so far bullish, right? Back to back 2 4-hour candle closed as a bull candle. If we look at the 1 hour, we see there's a 1 hour doji. Now the market is structured in a level on the 1 hour perspective. We can expect another rejection back above. There is a possibility here though that the market to retest this daily low, because there is a fragile market structure has formed here. You can see from here, this is 15-minute chart, and the market has gone back up with this one single move and it didn't pull back enough. But it is possible for this market to go ahead and create a new higher high here, or we might see that the price just has You can see it's now breaking that support. Now, the possibility here for short-term bullish is high, and that's where we have entered from the breakup structure. The breakup structure is, if you look at this trend line, what do you see here? The trend line, right? The white line. The market has broken out of the trend line. And when the market breaks from the structure, it gives you the bigger trade setup, longer trade setup. How long you can take a trade? Look at this one here, guys. This is the trade that I have traded with hundreds of members trading with me currently. Now, I have already shared these trade results in the group, and it's verified by our members who are trading with me. Let me bring out the results, because when you look at a market, when you look at the trade, you also need to look at the actual trading results, right? That's where you will see that exactly how the trade's playing out and why the trade was open. The actual trade will give you a clear understanding of why trade was open and how trade was open, right? Now, bringing the trade here. This trade that at exactly sold at 3994.41, right? And 39921 open at 3993.98. The other one is 3992.53. And both of them, if you look at the massive winner on a single move. So this trade that you can see opened at a level where there is a high area of value. See how the market has crossed this level here. This is a liquidity zone, and in that liquidity zone, how many people stop loss that has created in that trade? It's only nearly to 46 pip stop loss, and a straight, this is the 1 minute chart, straight drop back below to this 230 pip only in just a few minutes time. And it's here, date, time, and everything is there. You can see that 4th of October 2025, just yesterday in NY in London session. Now, this is the power of taking a trade based on market structure, based on breakup structure. You can see that here the market showing still bearish local. This is a bearish move, right? But our entry is here, right? We didn't enter by market. Why? Because if this market is continuing to drop here, if this market is maintaining this downtrend here, we might see the price to continue to drop well below. And you don't know that how far it's gonna drop until it started to move back again upside. And once it started to move back again to the upside, if the market cross this high, start a new uptrend, it's again merging with the bigger trend. That means that uptrending market structure. And that is where we are at. The market to cross that high, entry on FVG. This is a bearish fair value gap that you can see in that area. And with this bearish fair value gap, and it's breaking out here, let's wait to see for the entry to come up. And as soon as we see the market going up to create a new higher high, we'll be entering into the trade. Now this break that you can see can still be a downtrend, can still be a liquidity gap. In that case, we can still see a downside movement here in that market. We'll be waiting to see if the next one is coming for weak fill or breaking below. Ready for an entry? Have you placed the pending order? Say yes in the live chat if you placed the pending order. form an inverted head and shoulder, we might see that now potentially break above here in that market. This is an inverted head and shoulder, and we place the pending or above this side. If the market managed to break from this inverted head and shoulder to the upside here, we are on the trade. If the market breaks below, we might see potentially new lower low here, but it's still the possibility here to break to the upside is higher. If it does, we are on the trade, right? That's what we need to look at here. The tight stop loss in that trade, and I want to move that stop loss little lower to take this structure back below here. So moving the stop loss at little bit lower, keeping the risk same, 3963.60. Moving the stop loss at 3963.60. We're getting some liquidity grab from this support level. That is giving a possibility for this market to potentially bounce off this level. Now, if you look at here, you can see with this inverted head and shoulder, this 1 minute price action creating long wick so far and getting a rejection from this lower price. That signals potentially upside here. And with that break, we will be on the trade. Very shortly after, you might get that entry opportunity here in that market to see if the price is going back here to create a new higher high. Boom, the trade is active. Gold trade is active. Getting some rejection. If it is a fake out, then that's gonna be very interesting. But so far the market structure to be potentially to move in the major direction of the trend. However, there is still possibility for deeper liquidity gap here. The 1 minute chart that you can see creating quite a few long week candle. There is a liquidity sweep here, and this kind of price action signals potential reversal. And let's see that if it is reversing or getting again return back below. Interesting price action being formed here. And the market at edge here, and this is an inverted head and shoulder. There is a break below from this high here, and it has come back to this order block here in that area, and that is where looking at possible reaction back above. And gonna be very interesting if the market now it's on a point where rejecting down could be that there might be look at the 15 minutes here. That's dropped a lot, so still on the trade. There might be this is on a support level. It really dropped a lot. Now from a double bottom, we are still on the trade. It's just at the point it dropped. Now from this level, let's see that if the market breaks this support, then there might be a complete drop here. They will be out with this trade. So the last candle close is important to see how, if it is showing up that stronger rejection, because in fact it has directly from this high came back to this support and there's now only one move that you can expect it to go back up to that level, depending on how the market structure is forming. So you move the stop loss at this level, and you are still on the trade, and selling pressure. Okay, it's very interesting. It's gonna be really interesting if the market is breaking that level here, because it rejected from this double bottom with a one single move. Now that can potentially bring that market back to this support level, and if that is happening, then you might see the market to cross that high and to create a new higher high. We are on a interesting trade. I'm still on it. Are you guys with this? Still trailing the trade for another bounce back to the upside, and just for a few peep. Now, getting a rejection back above is where we are looking at the market to cross our entry. Are you running the trade with me here? Welcome. Okay, so make sure you're not increasing the risk, not adding any position, but only running the current trade as the market dropped to the key support level. Here expecting to trend and then continue to drop, continue bounce back to this key resistance line. So once the market managed to break to the upside here, this is where we are looking at this market to reach that level of 3971. Can I enter the trade? I wouldn't recommend at the moment because the trade already expired, and we will be re-entering as soon as we find the new entry. As with this, this is 15 minutes candlestick pattern that you can see is forming a kind of dodgy, and here if it bounce off that level, that's where looking at this price action to potentially go back up to cross 3971 even higher. So it's creating one kind of structure where if you look at, this is a narrow structure here, and in that narrow structure the market is expecting it to break above that level. Welcome. It has gone for a consolidation in that area, and Okay, with this pullback that we can see, as there is a more pullback, and it is one important sign that we need to look at here, that this market, when it is going up, it didn't move again with one single bounce. If it is going up with one single bounce, that's a chance for another drop again. So if it is going up with a proper pullback and liquidity grab from this support here, there's a potential for further movement back to the upside. That's how the healthy trending market is. If you look at here, and there's a liquidity grab here. The 5 minutes candle close with another long wick doji formation. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Risk management is the first priority when we are trading, and so with a more pullback, one thing to see that another potential breakout here back above to the entry. So here is an inverted head and shoulder again. The market is potentially again breaking above here to the upside. Now crossing the 1 minute bearish engulfer. Okay, showing up to be here potentially bullish, and would like to see a new higher high as the market has formed double bottom, trending still back to the upside. I'm still holding on to that, wanting to see the price to potentially cross that high to create a new higher high here in that market. Okay, getting rejection, and we are on the trade, is showing up to be bullish so far price action, and expecting it to cross now 3971 to 72, and that is awesome. Let's take some potential peep here, expecting another flight back to the upside here in that market. The market structure showing to be bullish here in that market, and expecting it to cross that high and then creating a new higher high. And are you running this trade? I'm in the trade. Welcome. Are you in the trade? Say yes if you are in the trade. All right, why? We are just have entered into the profit area, and I'm holding on to that because the market grabbed liquidity twice, so there is a stronger momentum here in that market. Awesome, cool. Hold on to that. And what I'm looking at here, guys, take that move back up to gain enough peep here, enough percentage. Boom, that's bounced back to the upside here. Okay, will not take so long as the market is in a trend, and would like to see that it's going back up to any of this important level and then rejecting back again. There's a doji. Come on, that's another doji here. So okay, that's showing up potentially to be again some upside bias here. Getting some reaction in that area, and come on. Looking for another new higher high. There is another bullish back-to-back to doji formation. Wanting to see it's crossing back above for us to take some decent peep here. And awesome that here we are looking at an upside move back above here, and I'm on it. Five minutes candle close here, and getting long week rejection here, wanting to see it's breaking that high. If because we don't want to see again coming to the stop near to stop loss, so if this candle is closing not showing stronger bullish move, we might be closing at entry with the running profit. Let's wait to see first of all how the market structure is forming, and it's sometimes very critical to look at the price action for that entry. Now this is the 1 minute, another candle is closing back to back, two doji here, and expecting the market to potentially break above here and possibly to create a new higher high, to see that the market to go ahead and potentially to create a new higher high. And okay, getting rejection from the higher price, so with the doji here, if you guys look at it, you can see it's a bullish, a big candlestick pattern formation here in that area, and that bullish price action that you can see could potentially bounce back up, and we are on the trade in the bullish side, and it's still showing up to be upside, it's still showing up to be a potentially uptrend continuation, and I'm still holding on to that, waiting for the market to go ahead and potentially hit that 3971 and up on it. And as soon as I will move, it will move enough profit target, will be closing it. And still holding on to that for this possible upside here. It might cross 3971, even further upside here. There's a doji. Come on, that's a rejection. Reach 20 pip is carrying rejection, and scalpers are there. All right, so still possibility for another bounce. I'm still holding on to that. And that's gonna be probably this 1 minute candle could be the last one that you can hold this trade before you close in running profit. So potentially get ready for taking profit. This 1 minute candle only I will be holding on for this trade to run on 30 seconds. In 30 seconds or before 30 seconds, I might close the trade, as we wanna see the market, the trade closing in profit, and as the market at the top, and wanting to see that it's breaking above. So as soon as this candle close, I might close. Yep, we see that the market is like showing to be potentially upside, and awesome. So I'm taking the trade right now out of the market. I know this is kind of price action that you can't always define exactly, but it's in that area that you can see it's a very narrow trend. So we need to wait for a bigger win as the market is started showing up that there might be for deeper pullback, or you could see the rejection back again. So from the lower time frame here, that the market structure has formed so far in this area to be potentially, if you look at here, long wick getting the reaction back below, and that's why I'm out with the trade. There is a potential for now both directional bias here that you can see. Now it might still be remain bullish, or you might see that downtrend. Have you closed the trade with me here? Give an update, just asking, can you read chart? Yes, you can. Thank you. Welcome. You can, there's a language in the market that you can see how the market structure is forming, and that's where the secret of becoming a better trader. Okay, so we are on this, and there is another session coming later. In just a matter of 3 hours time, we'll be trading in NY session like we do every single day, and I highly encourage you to join there to learn the best trade setup, to see that how the market is doing, and based on that, how you can trade every day using the same strategy that you are trading. That being said, thank you for joining here, and I'll see you again very soon, guys, trading. And in the meantime, risk management is key, so always use a risk manager tool for entering in any trades. That being said, we'll see you until then.